It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory.
The forecast calls for rainy skies and slippery turf in old Milwaukee town. But for the local burghers, it matters not. They have come out to see an important battle in the NFC Central Division, pro football's answer to the American dream. Here, anybody can contend for the division lead. And by the end of the day, 4 of the 5 members will still have a shot at the Central crown. 2 of them, the Packers and the Lions, will slosh and slog it out here in County Stadium. Lion quarterback Eric Hipple, number 17, has helped lead a recent Detroit surge as the Motowners have won 4 of their last 6. They've already beaten the Pack once this year in Pontiac and look for a season sweep today. As for Green Bay coach Bart Starr, today he is afforded the rare opportunity to string together 3 consecutive wins. Until recently, his team has been the Jekyll and Hyde of the NFL. Out of this world one week and out to lunch a week later. Quarterback Lynn Dickey will try to earn a victory today, as well as a new spot in the Packer record book. More about that later. But as for now, it's time for the 107th meeting between these 2 long-standing NFL rivals. There's the Central Division sweepstakes and a whole lot more on the line as the Green Bay Packers play host to the Detroit Lions in the NFL Game of the Week. It has been a very un-Billy Sims-like year for Billy Sims so far in '83. But today, the Lions starback would put together his finest game of the season. In the first half alone, he would rush for 90 yards. But Sims couldn't break a biggie every time, so after a short march, the Lions had to kick. For punter Mike Black, it was the first of several dreary experiences in the game. Fortunately for the Lions, the play was blown dead before the Packers ran it in. But all that call did was postpone an inevitable Green Bay score. The Packers don't run the ball so well, but boy, can these guys throw. They trail only pass-happy San Diego in league totals, and a key reason is quarterback Lynn Dickey, who is having his finest year. Dickey came out with guns a-blazing here as well, firing an opening shot to Gary Ellis, number 31, following a play fake that left the Packer runner in the clear. Then Dickey struck again, going to wide receiver John Jefferson, number 83. And just like that, the Packers had a 7-0 lead and a new passing record. With Jefferson's grab, Dickey had his 25th touchdown toss of the year, breaking the old Green Bay club mark held by Cecil Isbell, set over 40 years ago. Not even current head coach Bart Starr had hit that mark when he was leading the Packers in their glory days of the 1960s. After the historical moment was over and J.J. Jefferson had extended pleasantries with the end zone occupants of County Stadium, the Lions roared back with their best drive of the first half. Billy Sims got things rolling with a nifty scoot around right end, following a key block from number 64, guard Larry Lee. Sims' running mate, fullback James Jones, number 30, picked up a first-half reception with a screen pass. But the big play of the drive was a serpentine-like catch and carry from number 39, wideout Leonard Thompson, the club's most productive receiver. Also contributing in the march was tight end Ulysses Norris, number 80, with a pair of catches that got the Lions well into Packer territory. Detroit was finally stopped short of a touchdown, but kicker Eddie Murray blasted the first of 3 crucial field goals through, and the Lions were on the scoreboard. Murray would have much more to say about the game's outcome a little later, but for now, the star of the show was Lynn Dickey, who continued to move his club consistently. Number 39, Mike Mead's screen pass reception and some key grabs from tight end Paul Kaufman, number 82, quickly got the Packers back into scoring range as Dickey continued to show a hot hand in the first half. Jan Stenerud got his first field goal early in period 2 to make it 10-3 Packers. And then it was time for the Green Bay defense to step forward. The Pack defense is ranked dead last in the NFL, but you wouldn't have known it by watching them at work against Detroit. Linebacker John Anderson, number 59, made one of the key plays when he detected the fake Lion double reverse. As a matter of fact, Green Bay's defensive play was downright inspiring in the first half, as Detroit did not come close to scoring after their opening field goal. Conversely, the Packers looked like they were going to break the bank when Gary Ellis broke off a solid run. But then the Lions pass rush, one of the better groups in the league, barged in on Dickey to cool things off. The Lions got further help when Green Bay got to the goal line and seemed certain of scoring, only to see Ellis lose control of the handoff. The Lions were fortunate to escape further damage there. But with an offense that was unable to move, it meant the Green Bay track team was soon able to resume its relay races. Speedster John Jefferson, already with 1 touchdown to his credit, helped lead the way to more scoring soon after. Jefferson hauled in this one, then just barely missed getting his 2nd touchdown of the game, thanks to good pass coverage from safety Alvin Hall, number 35. Once again, Stenerud was called in for the field goal, and Jan responded to make it 13-3 Green Bay. Here was a kicker enjoying the first half. But for Lions punter Mike Black, it was 30 minutes of disaster. Mike had already muffed 1 snap and booted some short punts. But this play was easily the roughest moment of the rookie's young pro career. Number 62, linebacker Jim Laughlin picked off the errant toss, and Green Bay had themselves a gift-wrapped touchdown ready to go, deep in Lion territory. With under a minute to play in the half, Lynn Dickey continued to add to his team record for touchdown passes in a season, as he sought out and found tight end Paul Kaufman for the score. It was Kaufman's 7th touchdown grab of the year, by far the most he has ever accumulated in a pro season. Green Bay had thundered out of the blocks from the word go and threatened to have this game salted away at halftime. The Packers had passed well, which was to be expected. They had also played good defense, which was not expected. A 17-point bulge at home seemed pretty comforting to Green Bay. But in the second half, the Lions would launch their finest comeback of the season. The Packers, coasting now, would find that the Lions would give them all they could handle and more for the balance of the game. The laws of the NFC Central were all in effect. All teams are created equal. No lead is safe. There are no sure things, and expect the unexpected. All these laws would be carried out to the letter in the game's second act. Defense. The Lions needed it if they hoped to get back in the game and remain in title contention in the topsy-turvy NFC Central. One bit of good news for Detroit was that an injured Lynn Dickey was replaced by David Whitehurst, and Green Bay's new quarterback promptly showed his rustiness. The fumbled snap from center on the half's first play from scrimmage was recovered by the Lions on the Packers' 11-yard line. It didn't take long for Detroit to put 6 on the board. Eric Hippel's gutsy run made the score 20-10, 30 seconds into period 3, and the Lions had taken advantage of their first opportunity. There would have to be more where that came from. Detroit's defense was ready for the challenge. This play by Doug English was only a small part of the pressure the Lions put on Green Bay's offense in the second half, but it was the start. Following a Packers punt, the Lions began to move the ball through the air. First, Hipple hit rookie wide receiver Jeff Chadwick for 20 yards. And then Billy Sims made a leaping grab inside the Green Bay 20. The Lions moved downfield steadily, the key play being a fourth down gamble that paid off. Early in the third quarter, such a gamble seemed risky, but Sims converted, and the Lions sustained the drive that ultimately ended with Eddie Murray's second field goal of the game. The Lions now trailed by a touchdown, 20-13, and they clearly had established momentum as this third quarter unfolded. That momentum continued as Hipple turned to his Mr. Everything, Billy Sims. Sims had rushed for 90 yards in the first half alone, and he maintained his torrid pace in the third quarter, in addition to adding the receiving dimension to his brilliant all-around game. Detroit was on the move again, but it all ended when Hipple made a bad throw. Number 22, Mark Lee, picked off the errant toss, and the Packers had an excellent chance to reverse the tide and take control once again. The lead was still theirs. All they needed was to regain a little lost confidence. Of course, the Lions' defense was not making it very easy for Whitehurst, an adequate backup, but certainly no Dickey. Expecting Green Bay to keep throwing, the Lions were crossed up when Whitehurst went to the running game. Tough runs by number 31 Gary Ellis brought the ball into Lions territory. From Detroit's 24-yard line, Whitehurst tried to put 6 on the board. His target was James Lofton. After putting 20 points on the board in the opening 30 minutes, the Packers floundered in the second half. As the fourth quarter began, Green Bay had to settle for the field goal attempt by old reliable Jan Stenerud. But even that failed. The kick was blocked and the Packers' lead remained 20-13. The Packers were flat. This game was a reflection of their up and down season. They needed to snap out of their lethargy before it was too late. Two patterns had emerged in the second half. One was the running of Billy Sims. Before this game would end, Sims would carry the ball a Lions record 36 times and rush for a personal best of 189 yards. The second distinguishing feature of the half was the play of Detroit's defense. The Lions toughened up their act considerably, and for the most part, Green Bay went nowhere. But the Lions still trailed midway through period 4. For all their strong play, they needed a touchdown. They finally got it. Following this 12-yard run by Sims, Hipple dropped back and spotted veteran wide receiver Freddie Scott in the corner of the end zone. The result was a touchdown, and the Lions had tied the game with 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The catch was only Scott's 5th of the season and his first touchdown. Another look at the score shows the precision and timing involved. Hipple's throw just over the defender and Scott's guaranteed grip. The Lions had come all the way back from a 20-3 halftime deficit, and there was no reason to believe that they would stop here. They had dominated the second half on the strength of their running game, their defense, and an opportunistic offense. It didn't seem as if this 20-20 tie would last when on Green Bay's next possession, Whitehurst lofted a lollipop to Lions linebacker Gary Cobb. The Packers had done little offensively in the second half, and Whitehurst was certainly not on his game. He knew as soon as he released this pass that it was not a good throw. Just over 3 minutes remained in regulation. The Lions were in Green Bay territory. Everything seemed to be in Detroit's favor, and that continued when Sims ripped off another 20 yards to the Packers' 21-yard line. But 2 plays later, with Sims taking a breather, his replacement Dexter Bussey fumbled. The Packers recovered, and Detroit came away empty. Another Lions turnover thwarted another potential winning drive. And when the gun went off, ending 4 quarters of play, the Lions and Packers were tied at 20. The overtime was a carbon copy of periods 3 and 4. The Packers got the ball first, but Detroit's defense shut them down immediately. 3 plays, a net 5-yard loss, and then a punt. The Lions began their first series in overtime with excellent field position. Hipple turned to who else? Billy Sims. Sims' acrobatics were followed by a powerful inside burst by number 38 fullback Vince Thompson, and the Lions were quickly in field goal range for one of the NFL's best kickers, Eddie Murray. Murray missed by inches on his 33-yarder as ecstasy became agony in the space of a second. But Murray would get another chance very shortly, and there would be no disappointment the next time. Now that the Packers had the ball, it was again time for the Lions' defense to stop them cold, as they had done fairly regularly since the second half began. But this time there was a twist. Instead of 3 plays and a punt, it was 2 plays and a turnover. Number 27, Bobby Watkins, intercepted Whitehurst's pass deep in Green Bay territory. And this time, Murray drilled home the game winner from 37 yards. The Lions, down 17 points at the half, had rallied to beat Green Bay 23-20 in overtime. It was a very big win for the men from the Motor City. A loss would more than likely have removed them from playoff competition. Now they remain contenders in the balanced NFC Central, a division whose winner could very well have 7 losses at season's end. The Lions had shown the kind of character and inner resolve that they are so often accused of lacking. But one game does not a season make. The final score from Milwaukee: in overtime, the Detroit Lions 23, the Green Bay Packers 20.